We just do a silent cast. We just let the
Is that the same as just go home? Is that the theory there? All right. Well, let's see what they do.
No, I would appreciate if they would first ban Senna and just really make the statement.
Yeah, like we figured it out.
We figured it out. They probably won't. They'll probably leave it at T1 and hope the T1 ban it. But yeah.
Maybe T1 just don't, because maybe they just don't expect them to be able to utilize
well,
it
the
that
thing is as well, last time we saw Senna from Bro up against T1. Like, I feel like T1 actually one of the few teams who could actually punish it because they play like aggressive bot lanes. We saw them play the Kate Lux against the Senna Ornn, and maybe they're just not afraid of it. Like, I know we talk about you should definitely ban it every time, but maybe T1 are like the one team who think, you know, maybe we let them have it. We'll see what we can do against it. We'll pick a crushing bot lane and win. And even then, they said no. So I think that if T1 are banning Senna,
yeah,
you know it needs to be banned.
I think maybe also they were like, oh, but the win rate, it's really cool that it just keeps extending. Let's not break it here.
Yeah, yeah.
There is the slammed Azir pick, like we were talking about. But this time the Senna not available, so we're not as upset about it. I am still a bit upset, but not that upset, because now Lucian Orianna comes in, and then they round 3 the Nami, and they create themselves an absolutely terrifying Lucian composition, and Gumayusi actually gets to be a main character again.
Yeah, you know, I feel like Keria's going to pay his dues after the first one, where he was the carry. Now he's going to be like, okay, you can be the carry this game. It's kind of alternating.
Yep.
And actually going for the early Aatrox. So this is interesting because it means you basically denied yourself picking mid. And you may be thinking, oh, but shouldn't they have picked Ori? Like, Ori was such a priority for Bro to ban that they left Senna open. So surely they need to pick it. And I think this says a lot. But also, it says at T1, like, there's enough mid laners open. You know, there's like the Corki, there's the Ori, there's the Hui, there's the Talia. They're not worried about leaving it till the next rotation because in 99% of situations, you're picking your support here to match up with the Lucian. Probably the Milio.
I think it should be the Nami. I think Keria's Nami is also extraordinarily good, but I also just think it's better than Milio. At this point in time, it's seen a lot more success here in the LCK. And that is exactly what Keria is going to go towards. I like seeing him on this champion, so definitely good. So, the Rakan going to be taken away from Polo. Looks like we are going to be focusing on that bottom lane. I wonder whether there's any 80 carries that they want to take away, something like a Caitlyn that can outrange and things like that. Could be looked into, but I don't think that it really fits into Envy's champion pool. If he picks Smolder, I think that they care even less.
Yeah. Man, if they pick Smolder, it's going to be pretty brutal. But at least they have the outscale, like at least the scaling makes sense to an extent.
I like the Zeri ban.
Yeah, I think Zeri makes sense as a ban. Seen that rising in priority recently. Be interesting. I'm glad we're not getting more Lucian, Nami, Zeri coming out. And yeah, I mean, they'll ban those. Do we just see Hui come out from T1? They can leave it to last pick. They don't need to pick it now, but they can take the Hui. Vi also open and available. Rel, Maokai, a lot of things. But they're just going to go for Talia mid and leave jungle till later.
Sivayumi once again.
Wow.
They did try this once before. And it didn't work then, but maybe it'll work now.
Yep, and now they have to deal with the Vi. Vi Talia, super strong combo. And the thing is, you know, people think, oh, I think they should go for the Vi. I think the Vi is better than Nocturne, honestly. We'll see what they opt for. They're kind of bouncing between. The thing is, you would think on paper that, you know, Sivir actually once upon a time was really good in the Vi, because you could just spell shield the ult.
Yeah.
But now you just smite when you're on the way. And then you just break the spell shield and get the knock-up.
Yep.
So, yeah, have fun with that. It also means they have really strong mid-jungle pressure if they want to look at Karis, if they want to look at Gideon. A lot of pick potential with this composition, I think it goes without saying. And sure, if you see this game going to 30-40 minutes and they're even, I think Bro have a pretty strong comp, but is that going to happen? I guess I'll have to hope for it.
I'm a little worried. I believe that history has also indicated that perhaps we should be a little worried. But Koma and Edgar, of course, a huge history between these two absolute legends, have faced off across very different stadiums in their time as well, some of the biggest in the world. And are going to be facing off here once again. This time, Koma really looking like he's having a few of the laughs. Yeah. And the last one we're yet to really hear, but it might be coming relatively soon. Like you were talking about, love this draft, if you get to zone in at like 30 minutes in and have all of the money as if a game has gone even. That may not happen though, because T1's mid-game is looking real scary with this one.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement to make.
Well, just have to see how it goes. We hop onto the Rift here for game number 2. Okay, Brian, Hana, 2, set.
Brian, fighting!
T1, Hana, 2, set.
T1 fighting!
Nailed it. Woo! Okay. Have you paid your bro tax? Everyone in chat, have you paid it? Because perhaps one of the reasons why everything went so catastrophically wrong in Game 1 was a lack of bro tax that's being paid.
Yeah.
Highlight those messages right now.
We're analyzing the data, and it seems like we were lacking in certain areas.
Yep.
Brofan729, you actually didn't pay your bro tax, so, you know, I think Game 1 might have
He's actually rifling through papers right now with his pen out.
Rifling through these papers and studying the data, so make sure you get on that. You are the ones holding back bro.
He has the bro books in front of him. He knows. He knows when the tax has been paid or when it hasn't. As bro getting pushed out of the river for now. But we'll be absolutely fine. Zeus getting into position to be frustrating. But it seems like things should be okay. And with the Sejuani, this top side of the map could be somewhere that they could attack. Of course, Morgan able to help activate that permafrost pretty comfortably. And I don't really... You know how we spend a lot of time in the bottom lane? In a lot of our games, we're just watching the laning phase. I'd prefer not to.
Yeah.
I think that this one could be a tough time.
You know what's interesting is we often see bone plating taken against like Lucian lanes to like mitigate the burst. Polu actually took bone plating, but Envy didn't, which is interesting. I feel like, I mean, you often go biscuits on Sivir for the mana just to keep shoving, but I feel like you'd rather have the bone plating on the AD carry rather than the Yuumi.
Yeah, and Keria going to ebb and flow, and probably takes a bit of damage for that one. Of course, the health bar of the Yuumi, less of an issue, but Envy's also goes down extraordinarily low, and T1 will just push them completely out of this lane as they reach for level 2. Zeus actually finding a nice umbral dash onto Morgan here, who has Ghost, but is going to make it to his turret here. Should be kind of alright.
It's like 4 seconds till Zeus has cooldowns again, and I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah, if he lands a few of these Qs, it is looking a little dire.
He's nearly level 3 as well. That could be a moment.
Morgan did drink a potion, so gets some of that health back. Also has a biscuit, so maybe that's going to help. But currently getting zoned out of a few minions in this wave. Not too many. It's not end of the world or anything like that as we get the Jonah Strong zoom in. Okay, the Infernal Chains will come down. Zeus gets him to dash away. No Ghost used just yet here for Morgan.
It's an 11 CS lead in the top lane.
Yeah, he's got 4 of them though. So that's pretty cool. All right, Polu jumps off. Not exactly trading too poorly.
Yeah, but committed the barrier to kind of make that trade even, and then Nami's just going to heal.
I didn't notice because the shield disappeared so quickly.
Yeah, yeah, which makes you think it could have been a lot of damage otherwise. But I mean, this is how you kind of play with the Yuumi. You have triple combat sums, so you can use them kind of sparingly just to keep the health high. Obviously, one big change when they kind of semi-reworked Yuumi, because she was problematic, is they made her a lot more about shielding, and you don't have as much sustain as you used to. When Yuumi was a problem, it was just heal, heal, heal through all the poke.
Oh, there's a seismic shove going to be used to get out of... sorry, the shifting sands used to get out of the seismic shove, as Envy taking way too much damage here towards his bottom lane. Hey, the good news, Gumayusi doesn't... Oh, okay, never mind. He just had a cookie, so gets his mana bar back. Guan wondering where he wants to be. Spotted on a ward, though, as you can see there, so Envy and Polu able to get themselves out of the way. It's not exactly great,
yeah, that's a big wave to give up.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you don't die, which is good, but you can see Envy really wants that wave.
Oh, Zeus also really wants this kill, as Morgan not going to get hit by the sweet spot that time around and absorbs any potential CC from the knockup. So Zeus not going to be able to kill him underneath his turret. Also holds onto the Ghost. Nicely done. Envy does now finally have the spell shield, so can get a bit of health back. But I'm just
Wait, it's actually 2 points spell shield, no points Q?
Huh?
What?
So that's the answer. That's how you mitigate the poke.
Is this some forbidden tech?
It should be.
He's now got a point in Q, but normally you max Q, then you max W. Like, you normally don't put extra points in E until late in the game. This is
Hey, no,
strange.
but the fact that he didn't level Q means that he has full mana. And he's going back to base. I don't know, man.
Was it this? Like a second.
Maybe normally he would. Oh yeah. Normally he put a point into Q after the W. Takes Ricochet first. We do see a lot of Sivers actually take Boomerang Blade first, but he takes Ricochet first, and then normally he's put a point into Q when he hits level 3. So 3 muscle memory dictates that he puts the point into his spell shield.
Maybe he was like mid-fight when he skilled it up. I don't know. Like, maybe this is some tech I haven't heard of, but it seems counterintuitive because points in Q and W are really big for your wave clear.
Yeah.
And that's the skill order you go. You want Q max, then W maxed, and then E's last. So very odd.
Well, so far he's 22 CS behind, so I wouldn't say that the tech has worked if it was intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's move on.
Yeah. Well, Morgan is going to go for a little bit of a proxy, as we can see here. Zeus with the wave moving towards his turret. He will be able to catch it as well, as we've got the most non-interactive top lane experience that you can get. Lovely. Look at this. The social distancing top lane.
Yep. With no fans in the studio as well, it feels, you know, reminiscent.
It's very distant.
Morgan's just trying to relive past times.
He is. And he's going to be able to go back. Does allow him to get himself a free walk back despite not having the teleport. So
hey,
understandable
you know
entirely.
You know what I want to say? Karis is doing pretty okay in lane.
There we go.
Compared to his teammates.
Yeah, nailing it.
You know, 20 CS lead top and bot, but mid, you're doing pretty good.
Hey, and also we got Chemtech Drake out of the way, so we cannot get orcsed. It's not as susture as it could be.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not an Ocean Soul.
I was just about to say, it's probably still an Ocean Soul.
80% chance.
Yeah. I want to see the orc susture in the chat, if it does actually occur.
I'm now responsible for all the bad dragons.
Yep, you are.
Chemtech, it's just any bad soul.
Yeah, it's just if it's non-interactive. Now Envy doesn't have his spell shield, he's going to flash as Guon gets lit on fire. Another minion wave is conga lining forward though, as Bubble going to be avoided. Now Faker comes down as well. Oh dear, there was that interaction you were talking about before, and just punched. He had the spell shield back, and now Polu is just a little cat on a book and will be cut down by the culling. Minions left underneath the turret, they break the aggro, and everything is just fine. It's a lot invested, so some plate gold will go over. But man, this is rough. Gideon is trying to steal away a red buff. They do take 3 plates already on this bottom lane.
I think the extra point in spell shield didn't really help there. Go on flashing there. Actually isn't at the point where you can deal damage with smite, so just flash to secure it. Because if you flash closer, it's going to give less time before you can spell shield. Doesn't give you the opportunity to react.
Well, there's an all-out and a glacial prison. So Zeus should be going down here. Does flash the wall though, and never mind. He's Aatrox. He doesn't die in these situations. And now Morgan finds a Q. There's the knock-up. The permafrost is there. He gets so much of his health back, and now Faker gets enough time to turn up. And so Zeus once again is the noble sacrifice, and T1 will then just clean up.
Yeah, and Faker making his presence known. First to roam down bot, finds another opportunity to come here, and sure, he'll lose a little bit of health from the tower, and he's fallen behind in farm, but I think the reward very worth it with a 2,000 gold lead for T1. And yeah, so here, go on actually, you flash closer, because there's not, like, if you're going to spell shield, you don't get a chance. The flashing closer mid-R means you really don't get an opportunity to react. So well played in the first dive, and the second dive, it's a Yuumi.
Yeah. So she's not going to be able to do too much about it. And
this is well played by Morgan, honestly.
Yeah.
Would have been a good play if it wasn't for the fact that more than half, 60% of T1 ended up being there.
Yeah.
The Weaver's Wall getting a lot of value here.
There was the get down! But then Faker turns up, and this is sort of the value of having someone like Faker on a champion that is this incredibly mobile, right? So he's always there to help out his teammates if you go for a cross-map play.
You can even see, even with the gold that's been picked up by Karis, with the extra CS, with the mid plates, he's still behind in gold compared to Faker, because Faker got those 2 kills.
Yeah.
And every other lane's really feeling the benefit.
Guon is looking bloodthirsty right now. It does have cease and desist back up and available. Keria moving down. And I feel like it's been a really long time since we've seen these matchups. And the Sivir versus the Lucian Nami was something that T1 have played a lot, especially last year, as Gideon in position. Guon comes on in, but isn't going to be able to actually offer too much. I call his blessing for a bit of movement speed, as Gumayusi doesn't actually throw out any autos. And T1 just slowly but surely building this advantage. About 2,000 at this point in time, but this is a much happier Zeus in this top lane. They did manage to somewhat keep him down, I feel, in game number 1. It didn't look completely doomed until much later.
Yeah.
This time around, he has been somewhat accelerated with those couple of assists that he did pick up. Of course, did die, but you can see he's smashing farm, and it's a much better matchup for the Aatrox into the Cassante this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see in all these trades, he's really been finding the edge so far. And bot lane as well, I think this might be the point. I'm not sure. I don't think Keria quite has enough money. We'll see. Gumayusi definitely has enough money for first item.
He has 50 more creep score.
Yeah, so Guma gets his first item.
Oh, I've seen this attempt before. Well, Oner going to be used as Morgan. Gonna break the chains. Now goes for the all-out, but there's a teleport. Guon's coming in as well. He's got the ulti, and he'll use it on top of Gideon right now. He has the Glacial Prison, so Faker delayed a little bit, but it does not matter. This Sejuani is well and truly dead, and Morgan is not going to be left up as well. Karis is just, he's like, oh, no, this isn't where I parked my car, and he will wander by. And get towards the turret. He's there for the minions. He's like, don't mind me, I just want to clean this up.
Hey, I don't want no trouble.
That is an investment of a tidal wave, as Envy not going to get caught in the bubble. There's the Boomerang Blade.
Picking up some stacks, you know, for the support item, and just stopping the recall to be a little bit annoying.
It worked. This is also going to mean that when Gumayusi comes back, this tower's dead. If Envy did want to actually go back.
I'm not sure you want to step up there, Envy.
No. The Yuumi is coming. I don't know what that means necessarily for finding success here, as the Boomerang not going to land. Barreling projectile's decent though. So this turret on its last legs, absolutely. One more plate in it though, as Keria finishes off the Imperial Mandate. So this is the big spike.
Yeah, this is the big spike. Should be close to the support item upgrade as well. We've seen some people go like the more aggressive options with like the Dreammaker, and some people go for like the Slay for the extra movement speed and healing. So the Mandate's the big one.
Yep.
And this is really where the Lucian's going to start to...
Oh, this is the moment of truth as well, Ox. Get the susters in chat. As it's a Cloud. Oh, baby, redemption. Don't you worry. It's the best soul in the game. It could have been the worst. Instead, it was the best. Now, it couldn't have been the worst because Chemtech was already down. But still, we now get rewarded.
The speedy soul.
It's a lot of movement speed, isn't it?
Yep, really is.
And with a Nami as well, man, you'd be booking it.
The culling.
Oh, you'd be out. You're like a typewriter. It's crazy. Okay, well, go on. Gonna look for his opportunity. That's a great Emperor's Divide. I just don't know how much it actually matters, as Faker was tanking the turret. That's gonna take him down. Oh. And the denting blows. Guon is just gonna tank this turret and die. And that's a double for Gideon. Big mistake here for T1 underneath the bottom outer turret, as now Gumayusi is looking for Envy here. They do have the ulti from the Yuumi, but she pops off and now she's dead. Oh, T1, can they finish the dive? Is Envy actually going to be okay? As Keria thinks no. He does pop the shield, and now he's in between these turrets, and that is the 1v1. That's a dangerous Nami.
It stopped when they banned the Senna and they didn't pick the Tahm Kench. But no, it's not a Senna Tahm thing. It's just a Keria thing.
It is. That was just not very nice. He is 53 CS behind. Like, this is a pretty unfed Sivir. But this play from Karis was beautiful.
Really well played. The shuffle was pretty flawless. And also Gideon, notice, he stuns and then he tries to body block the Vi here.
Yeah.
And actually forces him to wiggle a little bit, so he takes extra tower hit here. I actually think Envy did pretty well in this trade, you know, up until the early moment. But the disconnect here, Holu pops out, At
to
the
go
moment,
surfing.
Envy flashes away. Yeah, he wanted to go surfing. And Keria nearly takes a tower hit. Potentially could have turned it around, but very precisely just walks out of range before it fires. They managed to get that. So,
and says absolutely nothing.
Yep. So bot lane obviously goes good for Bro. Mid lane goes pretty badly.
And now Faker's going to turn up. Manages to collect this cannon minion. And Zeus is in between turrets, getting his farm on. And is comfortably about 20 in the lead as well. Things kind of going exactly how T1 wants them to at this point in time. Gumayusi going for the Twisted Flution build, or a variation of it. Of course, you don't often take the Storm Razor first, so I tell a lie. So no Shiv. I just wanted to say Twisted Flution again. But this is the build that Aiming went for, actually, and did a lot of damage with. Just the classic crit.
Yeah.
And it works very nicely.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people talked about going like Kraken Navori as like the more tank shredder build.
Yeah. That's all right. They do find the Glacial Prison onto Faker, but there is so much keeping him alive. Emperor's Divide lands onto 2, but where is the damage here from the bros? Gideon's not actually taking very much of it as the all-out does come on through. The help with the turret was employed, but unneeded, as Guon will be taken down. It's a 1-for-1. Karis in trade, but now Gideon is going to face check. There's the bubble, and Gumayusi says goodnight. The fight is not over yet, as now Faker is going to bring this wave in, and Morgan nowhere to go. He's got his pet cat, and he decides he wants to take the 2v2 instead. Gumayusi is in melee range, but it looks like he doesn't really mind too much about it, as Polu is going to get blinged back. And that is the 3-for-1 in the end.
Seemed like a very weird play to opt into, because they burnt the TP, but the TP was just going to equalize the numbers. Like, they opened into a 2v3 and really paid for it, so...
Oh, it's a 4-for-1.
Yeah.
Someone else went down. Yumi's confused me when it comes to counting, because they seem to, you know, occupy the space of somebody else at the same time, and it gets confusing for me. That's my excuse, is Envy going to take a Q. And Zeus takes a turret shot. He's not exactly the most tanky unless he's fighting, in which case he's impossible to kill.
Well, okay, I guess it wasn't a 2v. I didn't count the Yumi. I feel like I had the same
so it's a 3v3 until the Cassante turns up.
I just don't think the Yumi's contributing enough here, really. And you see, they just focus down the Azir, and then it's like, where's the threat? Well, it's the Cassante, but the Cassante gets one kill, and Guma's walking down in the meantime.
Yeah, and so Morgan turns up and Gumayusi turns up. And it's the Gumayusi turns up bit that's the problem, because he does do a damage.
He does a lot of damage, he's very fed. And yeah, I mean, Morgan tanks all that culling damage, and then even gets the Q onto the flash, and it just doesn't matter. Nope, it doesn't matter at all.
And then Polo is just flung into some rocks, which really does sound brutal when I say it like that. I might refrain.
You know, I have to say, we really went hard on Bro for losing by such a wide margin when they left the center open.
Yeah.
They're losing by a similar margin and they banned the center. You know, sometimes it just do be that way.
Yeah, sometimes it's really difficult to have that response. But remember, they left the center open and they banned the Orianna instead, that was then left open, and Faker chose to play the clear anyway.
There's no redeeming it. But it's also going very bad this game.
But it's not going as bad. Still feels not as bad.
It's an you know, you might be right, but it's an 8k gold lead at 18 minutes.
I think it is.
Is this worse?
But there were some plays, you know, like Karis did that thing.
Here's the thing. It's the reason it's not as bad is because in the previous game they had Smolder, and they were against a center who scales really well. This is like a mid-game comp from T1.
Yeah, that's true. So this has to be happening right now as Gideon getting in amongst it, actually oh, they catch Gumayusi. Great Empress Divide once again, but Envy is going to be the trade. Keria doesn't get the bubble as now Faker wants to flick someone back in. Karis, he's got a little cat in a book though, and still offers a lot of damage, and he is 100% the main character of this pro roster right now. Emperor's Divide's just been fantastic, and honestly, this has been one of Karis's most impressive performances, even after their couple of victories. Over the Quandong Freaks is okay. Keria going to get permafrosted, as Faker will find Gideon with that flick. And is he a tank? I'm not entirely sure. Keria somehow staying alive for way too long, but now Karis is going to get in there. The Aatrox goes down, and Faker's like, nope, I'm all on my way out of this one.
Hey, this is looking better. You know, got some shutdowns there, got some good kills. Maybe the hope is still alive for Bro.
And like you were saying, This is a comp from T1 where this is the strongest that they'll be. That's why they're making these reckless calls to go for these fights, because they should be able to win fights almost guaranteed at this stage. But bro, actually finding the angles, finding the setups, and being ready for it. Looking fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this one more time.
I want to focus and hone in. Look at what Zeus does to Envy. Like, he kind of just, he just, like, what even is that? Like, he's used his Q3, and he kind of just, like, auto, and then he Hydras in the auto, and that just kills him.
Yeah.
Like, 60%. Like, I feel like Aatrox should have to use his Qs to deal that much damage, and he just doesn't. This champion's something. It really is.
He is.
Speaking of champions that are something, K'Sante is a lot of something.
Both of these top laners are the most something top laners that we have up and available. As some bounty gold, Orcs?
You know, it was an 8k lead at about 18 minutes. It's now only a 5k lead.
I would say that we're making progress. That might have been because you guys at home paid the bro tax. Keep it coming.
Yep.
If you haven't paid it, you've got enough to highlight that message, please send your Giga Chads through to bring us to 6 games on the day. 5 is the worst, right? We really want to go the distance.
Yeah, it's 4 or 6, nothing in between.
Yeah.
You know, 4, it's like fast day, you know, bit
yeah,
bumpy.
it's like speed run, woo!
Yep. Or we get the full gauntlet.
Yeah.
It's so cringe to have 5 games.
Yeah, it is pretty cringe. Well, Rift Herald going to be invested into this mid lane. T1 wanting to break it open, make the map as wide as possible. As bro, they have a lot of wave clear. Let's see how this one's going to go. The Vite going to crash on in here as there's the Weaver's wall. Tidal Wave as well being a real problem. Envy with a good spell shield this time around. The final chapter does come on through. Good knock up there onto the Azir, but now Morgan finds everyone. Keria going to be taken down. There's the all out, but I don't know whether he really wanted to go over here. Faker able to take him down. Still, Guon is going to be left to the Wolves. And Gumayusi, can you actually stop them from just pushing through? And I think he won't be able to. That's a 2-for-1 trade just keep in favor of the Bros.
Just keep pushing till the Nexus at this point. just keep carrying on. Morgan with a huge play there, the triple stun. You know, we often see K'Sante do a lot of things, a lot of stunning, a lot of attacking, a lot of dragging people across, but a triple stun, not as common.
No.
So finding a pretty great angle there. Oh, Envy sidesteps the Q.
Yeah, doesn't get too much value from the spell shield, but still is able to start doing some things.
Yeah, I mean,
Sivir.
Bro didn't want that top tier 2 anyway.
Yeah.
They don't really care.
That is a lot of extra money, though, so that does mean that the gold lead does stretch back out to about a 5.3.
Yeah.
Some good work was done. But I do think that this game is moving closer towards Bro over time than it is to T1.
Yeah, and just look at Guon trying to get an ult. So he wants to go for an ult on Envy, and Envy flashes, and he's like, carrot, and he's like, oh, okay, never mind. I'll just leave. And then the triple stun for Morgan. I think maybe ulting like Guon backwards would have been the better call, but he definitely saw blood in the water. You know, kind of hype beasted it, kind of paid for it. He was in the flow state.
Yeah, but what it did was it separated 2 people, and then he sacrifices himself, and then they get the 2 kills back. So
yeah,
I think that's kind of all right.
Morgan just isn't a KDA player. Okay?
No, he's not.
He just wouldn't get it.
He makes the decision for the team, not for himself.
Exactly.
And sometimes it pays off, and more often than not, it does not. But this time, it did. Faking out. Will he be able to find a shove? Morgan walking pretty quickly on this Mountain Rift as Seismic Shove just going to be eaten there. But still, Morgan takes a large amount of damage.
Oh, there's a flanking Aatrox.
Well, Tidal Wave is going to be invested here as Envy. I don't know about that one. There is the Vi. Manages to catch out the Sivir and Karis. The next one on the chopping block, and the flanking Aatrox is just going to come around and execute him. No more damage left. No more hope for Bro to stop this soul.
Yeah, and Polu wasn't actually even attached to Envy there, which was a bit interesting because the best friend buff was still on the Sivir, so more value to be gained there. But I guess maybe it was like, well, Karis' flash and Zonya's, maybe that's higher value. Like,
and also Envy decided to sort of just wander off and die.
Well, maybe it was in protest, you know.
I don't know, but this is going to be a Baron going over to T1. The Cloud Soul already completed. Gideon wanting to try and threaten as Gumayusi just says no, please leave.
Yeah, Morgan will walk over and say, fine, you can have it.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yep.
But the Cloud Soul, pretty big as well. A lot of movement speed, very valuable in the Aatrox, and we'll see the replay here. And yeah, so the best friend bonus you can see is still in the Sivir, but choosing to attach to the... I mean, I guess it's just because of sums and and Zhonya's. But Envy tries to duel Guma and then gets ulted by Vi. And then Karis is trying to make something happen in this moment, but the target selection is very effective from T1. Kill the carries, and then win.
And a little bit of a disconnect, I guess, with the movement, but you don't want to be moving towards a Vi, right? And so Envy didn't really have the option of moving over there.
Yeah,
I think it looked a little bit comical that he just wandered into a culling and then got Vi ulted anyway.
It was just difficult. There was no good places to stand with his Aatrox flanking.
It did look a little bit like Bro were intentionally setting up a brush camp that did kind of seal their own fate. Still, go on. Going to check this brush with his fist. And Bro now trying to defend this inner turret. Envy making his way over a little bit later, but Bubble doesn't land, neither does the seismic shove. And now look at him. Look at how fast this Lucian is. It is absurd.
Yeah, I mean, the 20% movement speed. You know, once upon a time, Cloud Soul was 10% movement speed out of combat. The fact it's 20% is kind of an absurd amount.
Wasn't it nerfed from 15 as well? And 15 was considered like it's too strong? Or am I imagining that?
I don't specifically remember, maybe. But I just know the fact it's at 20 now is kind of absurd.
Yeah.
Just like, because obviously you get the boost when you use your ult, but you just passively so fast, so much harder to hit skill shots, so much easier to rotate, so much harder to catch up with people. Envy. Use a little bit of movement speed.
I really wanted to see the speed boost of World Ender and then walk.
Oh, it'll be fun.
The World Ender, it'll be like you activate speed boost.
Yeah.
Very exciting. I'm really.
I kind of want to see the culling.
Yeah, the culling. Yeah.
Slay and Nami, and just like charging around.
Yep.
That'll be good. Something to look forward to in this game.
Yeah, certainly a lot of things. Faker can also wall and then sprint forever.
Yeah, you know, some champions definitely benefit more from Cloud Soul than others.
Although it does give you the speed buff after you get off the wall, I'm pretty sure. Like Misfortune, where if you do bullet time, you'd think that that's terrible. But no, it actually activates after you stop the channel.
Yeah.
So that you can reposition quickly.
Which,
so that's
you know, it's nice, but I think not as much synergy as some champions.
No,
I think
absolutely not.
Civ is crazy with Cloud Soul. I bet Bro would love to have that.
Yuumi
not so much. Yuumi not so much, you know?
No. Although, if you do solo ulti as Yuumi, you can really spread it around.
Like if you're playing like top lane Yuumi?
Yeah, which is, it's niche, but it's pretty good. It's not actually. There's a lot of misinformation in this cast. Okay, well, Bro, they are going to be able to at least deal with minion waves for the moment. Inhibitor turrets staying up. But 10,000 gold is the lead here for T1. They have the soul. And Baron has dissipated. Elder is going to be next on the menu. 30 seconds later, the Baron will be up again. Exodia on the table.
You know, I like that we have the graph to demonstrate that a little bit where we
have
21 minutes.
See where they did some things?
Yeah, that felt good.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they have a lot of wave clear. So
That's
I think
they get that for banning the center.
Yeah.
They got that little
bit of hope.
Yeah, a little bit of hope.
I think the main thing here is that there are two big objectives coming up soon. And Bro, just need one of them. You don't actually need both. You just need one of them. Because if T1 don't have Baron, I don't think they can siege.
Not against a Sivir and a Nazir, that's true.
Yeah, so you just need one of those objectives to stall. The angle you want to take is you want to try and slow T1 from taking the Elder immediately by whatever means you have. You know, contest them slightly.
All right, Gideon actually looking for this.
Oh my god,
what the heck? He's so fast! What is that? Look at him swimming away. Oh, okay. Well, he also, I believe, had Keria's passive on him as well, so it's just, that's movement speed cap that he's getting to pretty quickly.
Several levels of speed.
Yeah.
Just out of combat, you can see him just running around at 484 movement speed.
Yeah, I think he was on the Cloud Rift speed buff, but still, that's very silly.
Yeah, so they just need to get one of these neutrals, and then I think they can hold on. Because also, if they get Elder, then T1 will be very scared of fighting them. So I don't think, like, I'm saying this like it's just like, oh, you just get Elder, or you get Baron. But it's going to be hard, but that's kind of the game plan from here. If they secure one, they extend the game.
See whether they can get into position for it. 1 minute and 20 seconds on the Baron.
Caveat, they have to secure one and not all die. Just to mention. That's an important factor too.
They don't even need the soul. It's just these, like, the Cloud Drakes and Keria existing. And they're so fast. Okay. Usually just able to sidestep, run around, do whatever he likes.
Yeah, I mean, just a 20% is...
Yeah, it's really, really bonkers.
Stacking up with everything else.
You don't need the extra activation of the movement speed, is sort of what I meant with the ulti. That's a bit of fun, but not necessary. As Morgan, it's necessary for him to have some health. Because, of course, he is the front line.
Probably coming in, yep, and there's a Vi behind, and Morgan's half HP, and oh god, it's happening.
Yeah, this is the sandwich, the pincer movement. And Morgan is going for that back. He wants to teleport back in. The Elder has been started. T1 moving over towards his control ward, so they know that this flank exists. There's the Weaver's Wall. Zeus, he's on the wrong side of it for now. The tidal wave does come on in as he's looking for the Qs, and now he dives in on top of them. The Sivir does take down Guon to start this fight off, but I have a feeling that's the end of the good news. There goes Envy. It's a double for Zeus. Make it a triple, as T1 will just wipe the floor with Bro. They'll take themselves an Elder, and this may just be the end of the game.
Honestly, with a 10k gold deficit, down Soul as well, and with the flank that T1 set up, Bro actually did a pretty decent job of fighting that, but the gold lead, the soul lead, the everything is just too much. You know, they tried, they held on for a little bit, but T1 did their homework in this game. They got the gold lead, and that was just basically signing their name on it. Job's done, and they should just be able to take this 2-0.
Yeah, really beautifully done. Great execution on a mid-game composition as well. There were a couple of whoopsies that they did, but I think you do need to keep up the aggression with a comp like this. We've seen some of these Lucian compositions not quite work out, and Gumayusi Keria making it look pretty smooth as they will take down the Nexus. A 2-0 for